Hello everyone, my name is Trisha K. Williams. I'm a registered clinical counselor. I am so excited to be here at the Reset Reboot conference. Thank you so much, Janice and LaDana, for inviting me. I'm super excited to share with you today on the topic self-care, moments of stillness for busy professionals. It's going to be a bit of a practical, let loose type of presentation. So hopefully you are prepared to learn a little bit about how to practice self-care in your life. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about self-care. So what is self-care? We're going to define that. Then we're going to talk about 3 different types of stillness. So moments of stillness and how you can have moments of stillness in your life. So I know specifically we're talking about busy professionals. Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking about moms who have careers. We're talking about professionals that are on the go all the time, wanting to figure out how you can practice self-care, how you can have small moments of stillness in your life where you can feel grounded, you can take the weight off, you can reduce your stress and anxiety in just a few moments. 5 to 15 minutes is what we're talking about. So we're going to go through 3 different ways that you can do that. The first one, reflection. The second one, solitude. And the third one, mindfulness. Then we're going to talk about how this applies to you as a busy professional, like how you can put this into practice. And we're going to be showing you practically using the 5 senses. Yes, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, how you taste things, how you hear things, and then how you touch things. So stay tuned. I look forward to sharing all these tips with you. I've always been an active person. And when I say active, I'm not talking about exercising. I'm not talking about sort of adventurous, even though I can be those things. I'm talking about more a person who is always on the go, doing something. So I'm always active, always doing something, busying myself, really. And I found, after reflecting, that this busyness had to do with me wanting to escape from things. Once I realized that, it took me some time to then think, how can I find time to not be so busy, to counteract this idea of always being busy, always doing something? And it really took my husband to help me to recognize that this is something that I did all the time. I remember before we got married that he said, Trish, I'm really worried about you. And I was like, why are you worried about me? I'm cool, I'm chill, I'm okay. And he would say, Trisha, you're always doing something. I'm worried that you're not taking time to rest. And then I'd be like, what do you mean? I'm a counselor. I know what it means to rest. Like I take bubble baths, I go for walks. And he's like, no, I mean like just sitting still, like not doing anything. And I really had to think about that. At first I was defensive, like all of us. But then I really sat and I thought about it. And I said, okay, stillness, this idea of not doing anything, or whatever the action that we're doing is so intentional that it's as if we're not doing anything. And the purpose of it is care. So then when you think of self-care and this idea of stillness being a part of it, it takes it to a whole other level, right? Because when you think of self-care and the definition of what self-care is, it's these intentional, actionable steps that you're taking to better your mental health and your physical well-being. You're wanting to ensure that these intentional steps or these actions that you're going to be doing are going to be beneficial for you. They're going to be positive, and they're going to leave you feeling rested, reset, and reboot, right? So it's the idea of figuring out how you're going to make that personal for you, because everybody is a little different, right? How are you going to reset and reboot so that you can continue to have the life that you have and continue to do what you need to do for society? Because as a registered clinical counselor, I can't not be a registered clinical counselor. I have to continue to do that, and it's something I'm really passionate about. I'm also a blogger. I'm also a YouTube channel host. I do presentations, right? So all of these different things that I do, I don't want to stop doing them. I want to do them optimally. And that's what I would like you to walk away with today. I would like you to recognize that you don't have to stop doing the things that you love and that you're passionate about. I want to help you to find moments in your day that you can practice self-care. So we're going to be talking about the 3 moments of stillness. The first moment of stillness has to do with reflection. You know, sometimes when you were a child, okay, and I don't know, you were bored, you didn't have anything to do, you would sort of sit down on your porch maybe, or your veranda if you're in the Caribbean, and I don't know, you would sort of just daydream, you would sort of just be wandering off, you know. As a kid, sometimes we find ourselves doing things that I think we lose sight of when we're an adult. Because this idea of daydreaming or reflecting on what you did yesterday or what you did this afternoon or what you want to do in the future, this really gives you an opportunity to be creative, to plan, and to also refocus, right, on what it is that you want to do with your life. Identify who you are as a person, reminding yourself of who you are as a person. And that's what this reflective space is going to give you. And keep in mind our timing here, because as busy professionals, we don't have a lot of time. So we're going to be using, again, 5 to 15 minutes to create a moment of stillness where you're reflecting. Yes, and you're putting this in a calendar because it's going to help you to remember to do this. Now, you want to create a space of stillness that's going to help you to be reflective. So I like to light a candle, and the candle really helps me to feel at peace, right? The flickering of the light, the smell of the candle if it has a scent, and sometimes a feeling of warmth, right, that the candle gives off, for me, helps me with feeling at peace. So what is that thing for you? And what I want you to do is to get a journal or a pen or paper, and I'm going to get you to think about these questions. The first question that's going to help you to get into this reflective space is to remind yourself of who you are. Who are you? What gets you excited, right? Why do you do what you do? The second question, who are the important people in your life? The last one is, what are your priorities? once you've answered those questions, I want you to think about them. Who are you? Who are the important people in your life? And what are your priorities? And upon reflection, I want you to think, are you, or am I, centering myself with these things? Does my life reflect these values that are on this paper? And then how can I ensure that my life is doing this? And it could be a very simple answer, whatever that answer is for you. I remember I did this before with my husband, and I remember one simple answer was, I need to ensure that I'm taking care of myself and that I get a vacation. I know that is really silly maybe, but it was just really important to me as a counselor that I scheduled in a vacation throughout the year, at least one where I get away from everything. That was a priority to me because I recognized, and if you remember the story, I was just really busy and wasn't taking care of myself. I needed that time. So whatever that answer is for you, that 5 to 15 minutes of stillness in reflection can help you to plan for that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the second moment of stillness. Now, this moment of stillness has to do with solitude. Yes, silence. Listen to that. Silence. Nothing. Now, I know for busy professionals that can be hard just to find 5 to 15 minutes just to do nothing. But the really important piece here is to remember that when you sleep, yes, when you sleep, that is time when you're doing nothing and you're in silence. Your body gets an opportunity to repair itself, right? Your body gets an opportunity, or even your mind gets a rest. It gets an opportunity to make sense of all the things that you were doing that day. It gets to reset, reboot. You get an opportunity to start again the next day fresh, right? So in this 5 to 15 minutes, you are sitting in silence, okay? You're practicing the art of breathing. Yes, because in stillness, you don't want to be thinking about anything. You don't want to be doing anything. You're just breathing. I'm going to be teaching you a breathing technique that's going to help you to be mindful. Okay? So meditation is a great way that you can be in solitude. All right? So when you meditate, you can use your hand. You know, if you're a newbie and you're not sure how, you can use your hand to help guide you into meditation. So you can start at the base of your thumb, okay? And you're going to breathe in, hold, and then breathe out. Oh, this feels good already. And then you're going to go up the index finger. You're going to breathe in, hold, and then breathe out. Breathe in, middle finger. Breathe out. And then you're going to breathe in, up the ring finger. And breathe out. Gonna breathe in again of the pinky. And breathe out. Oh, I'm feeling so relaxed already. Now this moment of stillness, when you're in solitude, really helps with reducing physiological symptoms. So if you find that you're very worked up, or you want to reduce your heart rate for some reason, if you find that you have a headache, or if you find that your chest was feeling really tight, these are physiological symptoms that you sometimes can feel if your body is feeling really tense or if you're really anxious, right? And moments of stillness in solitude can help to reduce that in the body, to relax the body, to help you, again, to be an optimal professional. So you can go to the washroom to do this. You can do this at your desk when you're working. You can also do this in your car. I'm telling you, as busy professionals, you have to figure out the different spaces that you're in and where you can practice these. It really works to help to reduce your anxiety so that you can get into that meeting that you need to get into. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the last moment of stillness. Now, this moment of stillness has to do with mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is, again, being intentional about your care. Now, when you're talking about being intentional about your care, we're talking about grounding. Now, grounding tools are going to help you, again, to set an atmosphere of care for yourself where you can practice the first two. So, recap, reflection, solitude. Now, mindfulness is you're thinking about the things that are going to help you to be optimal. Now, the things that help me to be optimal are going to be different from the things that are going to help you to be optimal. So I want you to think about that. Mindfulness also has to do with being in the present moment. So you're not thinking about the past and you're not thinking about the future. It's all about the now, being present in the now, being right here. So when you're practicing mindfulness, you're thinking about what's going on right now. And the best way to ground yourself in the now is to use your 5 senses. Now, I'm going to be going through a little bit of a tutorial of ways that you can use things around your home, or you can use things that are going to be practical to help you to ground yourself in the now and to be present, to be mindful. Because there are times when you're just really tired and you're wanting to make sure that you don't get into that space of burnout. Like, as busy professionals, it's very easy for us to get burnt out, to be stressed. You're wanting to create, again, that 5 to 15 minute space in your day where you can practice one of the tools that I'm going to show you. So you're going to use vision, you're going to use smell, you're going to use food, so tasting. We're also going to be thinking about things that you can hear and touch. Okay? So come on a journey with me as I show you these different things that are going to help you to practice being present. So on the table, you will find that there are a few different things that I'm going to be using to demonstrate ways that you can find and practice mindfulness throughout your day. Now, I'm going to be going up close, so don't worry. You're going to be able to see all of them. But I'm going to be going from left to right. So the first object you can see there is a potted plant. Now you might be thinking, how can this help me? Well, not only does this plant let off oxygen, but taking care of a plant, so it's the touching of it, the visual of it, really helps people like me and others who are just plant parents. Just the idea of doing something for something else, taking care of something else, releases those endorphins and those happy hormones in our body that helps us to just relax and feel good. So the potted plant is a visual tool that's going to help our eyes, and also we're doing something tangible. So it's either you're, plumping up the soil, you're watering it maybe, you're also touching the leaves to make sure that it's doing really well. Sometimes it's pruning. That's going to help you, to get rid of, any leaves that are not doing very well. So that's the first object. The next thing are these books. Now, these two books, the first one is an album. Now, it's this idea of flipping through the album that really helps with, looking at memories. You're looking at your loved ones, the people that are important to you, and it helps to ground you in the moment, right? It gives you this opportunity to think of positive memories. The second book for me is really important. It's a study Bible. It's something that's going to help me to practice meditating on the Word and reconnecting with my spiritual roots. The next object, it's a Tibetan meditating bowl. Now, I'm going to show you how to use this. So you're going to take the stick and you're going to put the bowl with the little cushion in the palm of your hand. And then you're going to swirl it around the side. And it's going to let off this really sweet sound. I'm telling you, if this doesn't relax you, I don't know who you are. But it really sets off this beautiful sound that's just really calming, and it just gets you into your body. You feel the vibrations, and you also hear the sound. The next thing is a crystal. I got it in India when I was visiting there. And I just remember taking it off the table and putting it in my hand. And I was really drawn to the color. So it's purple. But also, it had these ridges on it. And I would touch it. So it's really tactile. So this is the sense of touch here that we're using. And I'm telling you, for some reason, I was mesmerized at least for about 5 or 6 minutes in the shop when I was looking at it, just looking at the color and feeling the little jagged edges. It was really beautiful. I was transported in those 5 or 6 minutes, just in that moment, just touching this stone. The next thing are feathers. Now, these I got from a park when I was walking. And it's a reminder for me of nature and animals and the idea that, we shed things that we don't need anymore. And these are goose feathers. So not only are they Canadian, but it's a reminder that you don't have to hold on to things that you don't need. And it also is a tactile thing, so you can move the feathers on your hand, and there's sort of that feeling of, the feathers on your hand is also a way that you can remind yourself of, brushing away the things that you don't need. The next thing is practical, guys. Sometimes you just need a little bit of candy in your life. My husband's go-to are jujubes. He loves jujubes, but candies are really good as a way to, again, release those endorphins, those happy hormones, dopamine and serotonin. That's going to really help you to feel really good. But also, when you're eating your candy, you're just thinking about the candy. That's all you're thinking about. You're just eating your candy and you're feeling really good in that moment. And that's your sense of taste, right? You're tasting that candy and it tastes really good in the moment. The next thing, that's something that, is universal, I think, for everybody. That's a cup and a kettle. Just making some tea. The process of making the tea really helps, relax you. You're also, when you drink the tea, there's that sense of warmth in your body. That just puts you in that atmosphere so that you can relax and be in that reflective space. Sometimes it's even that solitude that we talked about earlier, right? Now the next thing is my personal favorite. There are days when I just come home and I'm really tired, or I had a really tough client, and I just drop a few, scents. Now this is from spruce, and spruce even tells you what the different scents give off. When you smell these, it helps you to relax. It helps you to find peace. It helps you to, let off a load, right? There's lavender, mandarin, spearmint. There's even eucalyptus there that helps with, your immunity in your body. So you just drop a few drops of the essential oils into the water. And this is smell now. You're going to be smelling the sweet fragrance. These are the things that are in my home that I use for self-care to stimulate the five senses. What's in your home? How can you create a space that you can just go to that's going to help you to practice meditation, to practice mindfulness, to practice being present? And again, I'm going to remind you, it's 5 to 15 minutes. As busy professionals, you can find some time in your day to practice mindfulness.